Hey guys, welcome to Alicyn's Wonderland, the show that takes you into the world of animation and games. And I am so excited because today we have a special guest, the one and only voice actress, Jessica DiCicco. Jessica is both an Annie and Emmy-nominated voice actress. You definitely know her work on shows like It's Pony, The Muppet Babies, Adventure Time, and of course The Loud House. So we're super excited to have this chat. And I always say we, but I really mean me. You're watching Alicyn's Wonderland, inside the world of animation and games. So, Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for coming. It's so good to see your face.
You too.
I love your energy. You always bring such great energy everywhere you go.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Yeah. We know each other, of course, from CESD.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
CESD, shout out. It's so great to connect with you and sit down, and I learned so much about you and your beautiful life. And I mean, I knew you were from New York, but yeah, tell us a little bit about your family life growing up.
Yeah, so it's funny because I was actually born in LA.
Oh, you were?
Right, same hospital that my kids were born, because my dad was an actor.
Same doctor.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I hope not. No, not the same doctor. But I was trying to find the same room. If we were born in the same room or not.
Ooh.
But I couldn't find the room number. But anyway, so my dad was an actor back in the day, back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna date myself. And so he had to be in LA, and so we were born here. And then my mom wanted New York kids, so she moved the family. We moved to New York, and I grew up in New York. And then,
in
of
the
course,
city.
Yeah, in Manhattan on the Upper West Side.
Oh.
Upper West Side girl. And,
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
My life is very Seinfeld-y. And then, of course, after school, I came right back to LA. And I've been here for, a while now. So.
And so your dad was an actor. Growing up and watching him go to set and doing auditions and stuff, did you feel like that was in your blood?
So it just seemed normal to
Yeah.
me, and I think that did help with a transition into acting. But it wasn't. It just was a very natural thing for me to do it, for sure.
Yeah,
it definitely helped.
And how old were you when you started?
So it's funny. My mom brought me to an agent when I was a kid. I think I was 6 or something, and I had to say to the agent "These are yummy, mommy." And or something like that, and I was like, I'm not gonna say that. And she's like, why? I'm like, because you're not my mommy. And so she marched me back out, right back to my mom. She's like, nope, not ready. And then it was crazy. I was in school. I was in 2nd grade, and I got chosen to be in this this show called Free to Be a Family, just randomly, out of all the kids.
They came and were scouting at your actual school?
They scouted in my school, and
Isn't
they
that crazy. That's
one
legal.
kid. Yeah, right. I know. And they picked one kid from my school. I got lucky. It was me, and that ended up starting my whole career pretty much.
That's
in on-camera acting.
crazy.
I did on-camera at first. Yeah.
Wow. But maybe that just speaks to your charisma, your natural charm.
I had no teeth. I had curly hair and a super raspy voice, and they just thought I was
oh, we need to
spunky.
cut to the tape. Cut to the tape.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I
actually
to be able to find
I
that.
do have a tape. I do. I'll send you the link. There's a YouTube thing.
Insert tape here.
Insert YouTube vid. Yeah.
Piesig, piesig, jette dog, nog een donkey, wat kan je wimpel weer, laat je meer gala weer.
Wow, that was so funny. As if we're coming back from this.
Yeah. It was I was in 3rd grade, I think, when it aired. So that was 8-year-old me. And so now I'm interested to see if my kids naturally fall into it.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
So did it shift how you felt about yourself at that time?
It was just fun.
Mhm.
I loved being a part of this really cool project. This it was bigger than life. John Bon Jovi was in it, and it was so funny. He did I'm a cowboy, on a steel horse I ride, and his double guitar. It was just really cool. And you know who else was on that show? Actually, Donald Faison from. Do you know him? From Scrubs.
Oh.
Yeah, so he got started on the same. He was on that same show.
Oh wow.
And there's a couple people who got started doing that Free to Be a Family show. Anyway, but yes, I got bitten by the bug, and it wasn't even like acting. It was like just being around it and like, you know, being in front of cameras and like getting to know all the people who work on the show. It was just an awesome experience.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
So did that solidify it for you? Where you're like, boom,
So
I want to do this.
Yeah. So after that, my mom showed that clip, which might be here.
Hello, agent.
And we got an agent. And the first movie I booked, the first project that I booked was Godfather Part 3.
Oh, no big deal.
And
No big deal.
I like spent it was like a week or maybe I can't remember how long I was on set. And I was just like very curious, interested in this like process. And so, you know, I see like the monitor, like, you know, they're filming it and I see like the monitor. So I just walk over to the monitor. I'm just watching and everyone else is like, you know, I didn't even notice that like nobody else was around me. I'm just watching. And then this guy starts talking to me and like, you know, he like lets me hang out with him. And it was Francis Ford Coppola. And he just took a liking to me and like he showed me like, you know, the Zoe trope, like inside like the Zoe trope, like it was like a trailer and you can see like, you know, there were like all the film that was like going on and like you get to watch everything back.
The film, right? Because like we're talking film.
It was very cool. And like just to have that experience, like all these things just kept solidifying this for me, you know? And so that was a cool experience.
Magic. It's literal, you know,
magic.
It's magic by the true definition of the word.
For sure. 100%. Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
I know. I miss those days of like, I don't know, but
there's still magic. There's magic here and magic to come.
Is
there is still magic. I promise you.
I hope so.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you're working on a ton of shows and you've got, you know, 2 beautiful kids too. So
that's magical.
Yeah, it's so magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that the whole thing has come full circle when I see my kid and see my son is just turned 6 and I'm like, was I that little and like sweet at that age? You think when you're 6 you're like grown up and then you really have
such a wild ride to be a parent and to like watch them go through this and it's incredible, isn't it? Like
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you feel that being a parent has really affected your work working in animation since most of it is children's entertainment?
I would say so.
Yeah. It's
affected me. I'm curious to hear if it's affected you too.
Big time.
Yeah. Like I definitely watch more shows now.
Yes.
And I get to see who it is we're doing this for and how it affects them and what they respond to and I'm like just watching him watch and I'm just like taking notes, you know, and it's so fun to watch him watch the shows that I've worked on and laugh, like deep belly laughs. And it's like, yes, like we're doing it, you know? It really, I don't know, it gives you a different perspective on like what I've been doing for this whole time. And now I have a totally different perspective on it.
It's more meaningful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What is your experience been?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it just makes me want it so much more too, like to align with the right projects that are really going to uplift and inspire. I went in to read for my son's school and they just dropped, well, this was like, I was just allowed to go in because they weren't having outside visitors because of the pandemic.
Nice. So you can, go back.
They were still wearing masks, but I went and I was reading at Elephant and Piggy book. Or Piggy and Elephant.
The best.
And my son goes, my mom is a voice actor. And I was like, and they were like, it was like, Bodhi, like, I don't know, like shy for a second. Like, don't build it up, you know? I don't want to have expectations. And then they were like, I just started doing a couple voices, just spitballing. And then they were like, I was like, this is great. Children's theater, here we go.
So fun. Yes. Oh my gosh. Let's do something.
Oh my God, let's do something.
I've been really wanting to like work on some sort of children's programming, like direct something or produce or something. So we'll have to talk about that.
We should talk. This is where the magic happens.
Yes. Because Dash is just about to turn 4. And did he just turn 6 or?
Just turned 6.
Okay. So they're pretty close in age.
Yeah.
Dash likes older kids, so
and we're gonna go camping.
Yes, we are.
The summer's coming.
Yes, but I need your help because I don't know
how to
book these places.
I'm on it. So you kind of have an interesting story too. Graduating from college, you moved immediately, then moved to Los Angeles, but you kind of had already had a little foot in the door, right? Because you were doing voices for Noggin.
Yeah. So okay, so I grew up acting professionally in New York, doing a lot of on camera, but that also kind of, I was also booking voiceovers, and I loved doing voiceovers. I mean, I loved doing both, but when I went away to college, just before I went away to college, I got offered, I'd been working a lot with Nickelodeon. I did a bunch of on camera stuff for them as a kid, and animated stuff. But one of the producers there was like launching this new network called Noggin, and he's like, "Hey, can you be the voice of the network?" I'm like, "Yes, but I'm going away to college." And he's like, "Don't worry, we can work around your schedule. Just fax us your schedule." Not to date myself, but so we ended up working I ended up working from college. Like I wasn't able to go abroad because I was working, but worth it. And because I love working and like genuinely love it. And then I would go home back to New York for the summers and audition. And anyway, so then I really fell in love with voiceover. And like I loved acting and I loved doing voiceover. So the happy like media, the happy place is the animation. So and then I had like a I was auditioning, and then I got a call back for this, like, like it was like Dumbo Part 2 or something. And I, the casting person like suggested that I move to LA after school, which I was going to do anyway because I was going to produce TV. And lo and behold, when I moved out here, like I'd already had an agent, so like that was, like that wasn't a problem.
Fresh meat in town.
And I ended up like, booking pretty quickly. Like I think it took me a year, and I was like, I had booked like 5 pilots, and like 3 of them turned into shows. Like it was pretty crazy. It happened fast because I know, like like it didn't happen like that. I definitely paid my dues like as a kid going to auditions, and that took many, many years. And then by the time I'd come out here, I paid many dues, and it happened.
But if you think about that, right? It's like, so at your sound and your age and where you're coming in, you already have 10 years. 12, 10 or 12 years experience.
For sure.
You really do. You've kind of paid your dues in advance. So you're like already ready.
And that's why I really think that working as a kid, like professionally as a kid in any field, I think is such a great thing because it really gives you a head start. And like to be professional, I don't know, it's just like I'm so pro, if your kid has like an interest, like go, like help them.
As long as you can find the balance. I was definitely like, I was in a different market. Boston didn't have a lot of film, TV, or anything, but I knew I wanted to be an actor, and I really wanted to be a kid actor. My mother was like, "Oh, you're gonna end up like Drew Barrymore. Like it's bad news. It's you're just gonna be child stars were just like, it was the 80s, so they were like just all kinds of
those were like the poster children of like that's all they knew were like those stories. But there's so many people who had such a great experience, acting professionally, and and I don't know, like if you had lived in a city that had access, like you would have been doing it.
Totally. And probably VO, because I was a weird looking kid.
That
was a weird. I remember I entered like a modeling competition. It was so bad. They're like number 32. Where are you, number 32? And I was like in back trying to change into my next outfit because like I just didn't.
I need to see a picture. You were probably super adorable. I'm pretty sure and would have booked a ton. Oh my god, you
were retainer and like glasses. And I remember I was like, I had my glasses and I was like pretending like they were sunglasses. I was like, walk down the runway and then like look over my glasses like they did in like, a Guess commercial. Yeah.
That's
hilarious.
I really hope you can enter
Very
that
Little
tape
Miss Sunshine.
Here.
Insert that tape here.
Alicyn Packard, complete dance, gymnastics, violin, and drama. Hobbies are art, reading, and roller skating. Contestant number 45.
Let's see if my mom can find it. Oh, yeah. So then you started working. You had a couple shows for Nickelodeon. Loud House.
Yeah.
You were working on that super long running show for Nickelodeon still.
Oh my god, we just got picked up for a 7th season.
What?
This is like the longest show I've ever been on.
That's
like,
amazing.
It's I feel so lucky, like, you
Yeah.
know, to be on such a great show.
And so
And-
you voice two different characters, two
Yeah.
wildly different characters, Lucy
Yep.
and Lynn. And I think
Yep.
that's so interesting.
Lynn Loud, baby, yeah, Dutch oven. She's nasty. And then Lucy Loud, Sigh, and they happen to be roommates. So yeah, so I get to voice a lot of like back and forth between those two. That was fun because that was like my first time being two major characters, like two,
Yeah.
you know, in a show. So that was really fun to like go back and forth and, you know,
Wow.
hone that skill.
Yeah.
I like learned on the spot, you know. It's not like I had that skill before that show. So that was
And don't you
That's always
think
fun.
like being in those ensemble records just brings the best of everybody's performance forward? You just learn so much from being in the same room. And you get some
100%.
really strong players on that show.
Yeah, that cast is so fun. Like everybody is just so rooted in their characters. Like they are their characters. And it just makes me so happy to like be in that room. And like, I mean, I haven't been in that room for, you know,
Yeah.
COVID years, but we have, you know, ensemble Zoom records, but it's not the same, but it's
Yeah.
still fun. But I just
Yeah.
hearing everybody and like it's like a symphony, like all the voices coming together and to make this like family, like the Loud family. It's so nice.
Did you know a lot of the actors on the show before you started
Yeah,
working?
you know, it's a small community, so you know, you work with people here and there, and then I feel like the start of a new show, it's always like the first day of school when you like go to the show and you get to see like who else you're working with and like
Hi, can I sit here?
Totally.
Yeah.
That's really funny, and it's like I just love it. It's just so much fun to like. Yeah, like that's who you work with, and that's who, you know, it's like it's not like we're going to an office job. Like we're working with, you know, our castmates and whoever else is on the show. But
Any lifelong friendships come out of that show?
yeah. I'm friends with, you know, friendly with a lot of them. But yeah, so you work here and there with people, and then when you're on a show together, it's like you get to bond and, you know, you get to know each other.
Same
and,
team.
Yeah. It's just it is, and especially ones that run that long. It's like you just go through so much together, you know?
Yeah.
So that's fun.
You've been on some really amazing shows. I mean, Adventure Time for sure. What an interesting and fun ride that was.
That was definitely an interesting one. Yeah, really fun.
What did you know about the show going into it?
I didn't know much. I knew that it was popular, but like it hadn't even reached just like peak popularity.
Yeah.
It was already on the air, so that's also really cool to be able to, you know, do some research and like YouTube the show before you audition for it and know who you're talking to. You know, the scene was with like Finn, so I got to see, like hear him and like, you know, and when I went over the audition, I, you know, visualized myself talking to him and I knew who I was talking to. But yeah, I think I joined like at the very end of like second season and then like third season began with my character. But being on that show when it was like, it's like, you know, upward trajectory was
Comic-Con
a wild
and, like-
ride. I mean, that was the first show that, you know, was that big and was such a huge cultural phenomenon, and like getting to ride that wave, like going to the conventions, like it was just amazing. It was
Yeah.
life-changing. It was life-changing.
And what about your character, Flame Princess?
She, you know, it was they took Flame Princess in a very interesting direction in the end, and you know, that's another thing. It's like you never know like where these characters are gonna go and like what's gonna happen, and it's just fun to be a part of that like evolving process. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Had you worked with JG Quintal before? The show
so
creator?
so JG created Close Enough. So he was from regular show, and then Pendleton Ward did Adventure Time.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And they were actually like in the same time, like regular show and Adventure Time were like the two big shows on Cartoon Network at the time. So like there was a lot of crossover fans, and and then years later JG created Close Enough, which I'm on now, which is also like an awesome project to be a part of.
Yeah, let's talk about that project a little bit.
Yeah, it's
HBO Max?
It's on HBO Max, and it's just so cool because like JG, the creator, plays the main character, which he also did on regular show, And just to be like in the room with him, like he's brilliant. He's genius. And like, you know, it's like, it's so cool. And like his mind works in such a different way than like, you know, like the voice actors. Like he just has like such a complete, you know, picture of like everything that's going. He's just, it was just awesome. It's awesome to work with him. But I play the kid.
Candace.
So I play Candace, who's the daughter, and it's about, you know, it's very funny. It's about like a couple who lives in LA, and LA is so ridiculously expensive. They can't afford rent, so they split like a house. They have roommates.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, I'm sure. And like, you know, chaos ensues. Like it's obviously like lots of inappropriate stuff, like with the kid living there and these crazy like roommates. But yeah, like, and then being on that show, like I became a mom myself. And
so that happened as you were recording. Like,
I was on that show for so long. Like from the time, you know, very rarely do you get to be a part of a show from like the very beginning stages. Yeah. And it was the same with Loud House. Like I was on like the short, and then it like turned into a pilot, and then it turned into a long running show. And like with you know, with Close Enough, I was on like the very beginning, and I saw a lot of like changes. Like they tried out a lot of different actors, and like, so you know, I was like holding my breath the whole time, like, oh my God, I hope I have this. I hope I get to stay, which I did. It all worked out. Yeah.
It was meant to be. What can you want to demonstrate what a little Candace sounds like?
Candace is such a spunky character. She's just like, Mom, Dad, no, we're not gonna do that. Wait, what are you doing? Can you take me to the ham factory? Like it's just like all this like weird stuff. Like there's like he works at like there's episodes of like hot dog factory, like, and it's a crazy show.
I mean, we all know how much children adore hot dogs for some reason. It's like primary food group.
There's some like
mac and
crazy
cheese, hot dogs.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jelly. That's pretty much all my son eats.
Yeah, I know. Really gotta like widen the palate.
I know. We're in a bit of a funk these days, but yeah. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, it's fun when your work can kind of reflect your life a little bit, and you're growing in your work as you're growing as a human.
Yeah, and it adds to it. Like I got to. Yeah, it just really adds to the whole thing. So, as an actress, like as your experience.
Yeah, I mean,
what you bring to it.
It's very cool how you've created some of these amazing pivotal roles. Even like I was gonna say, Summer Penguin on Muppet Babies.
Yeah, that was what a wild show. Because
one of my favorite shows growing up was Muppet Babies.
Right. I love that show growing up too. And you see like the casting thing come through, and you're like. Oh my God. Yeah. So like I auditioned for the character actually changed. It originally was a sheep.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So, cool.
So there's a lot of like I incorporated lots of ba's, but then it ended up turning into Summer Penguin, which is like, the new Muppet Baby, and that was like crazy to be like, the new kid on the block and like a playroom of people we already knew, right?
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
And then Summer is best friends with, well, she likes everybody, but she's friends with Gonzo. She helps Animal out, and she's just like such a cool, like warm, penguin.
She's awesome.
She's just like you. That's so fun.
Yeah. I missed that show. The last episode just aired. So,
Did I hear there was something new version coming out or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, they did like some shorts with puppets. Mm-hmm. So that would be cool if they went the puppet route. Puppets? I did an ADR.
Oh, wow.
And I got to visit the set, so I got to see them do the puppets. And then I got to I did the ADR for it. But that would have been awesome to be able to like operate the puppet, but that's a whole other skill set. Like,
yeah. It's funny. Frank Todaro is a puppeteer. He's coming on later.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I would love to explore that world.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Keith Ferguson, voice actor Keith Ferguson, he does a lot of puppeteering, and there was a workshop you could take, and they would do live puppet performances, and they were amazing. We went to go see a couple of his shows.
So fun.
I can look into it. Maybe if I remember, which I probably won't, I could insert a link here.
And let me know if you go back, like if it's back on, let's go together. We'll go to like a puppet show.
Yeah. Well, life is slowly coming back.
Yeah.
It's a trickle. So let's just Hope that it starts to flow a little bit more.
Yes.
Okay. I know it's like most of your career has kind of been built around like Prelay animation and doing original animation. And now you've kind of been doing some more anime, and anime is becoming just so much more popular. How has the
Yeah.
difference been between doing regular animation, which is usually starts with the voice record, as opposed to doing anime, which is dubbing?
Yeah. It's funny because like I really like was gunning for anime.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to do anime
Yeah.
for a few reasons.
Yeah.
But also like, when you do same thing over and over again, you kind of want a new challenge,
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of Prelay and original animation, and like dubbing is just a whole different skill set, and it's so much fun to challenge yourself in a new way in something you do so so often. And it's just been, it's also like the projects are so different because it comes from like Japan or from other countries too, but
often adult audience or teen
it's
audience.
such different like storylines and different like themes and different everything, and it's just so wild. Like I love it. It's so fun to do different types of projects. And like I just did an anime feature film called Belle, which was so awesome. And
you got a theatrical release?
Yeah, it was a theatrical release.
Wow.
Like how like that doesn't really happen that
often. Did you go
often.
see it in the theaters?
So I got to see it like in the IMAX theater as a sound test. So this was still kind of during COVID, and so but we got to go during the for a sound test in IMAX. It was just like me and my mom and my hubby and my sister, and then the director of Belle, Michael Nicholas, and who's a brilliant director and a voice actor himself. And it was just like, what a crazy experience. But it was just epic. Like it was just epic. Like that movie was just so awesome.
Aww.
Yeah. Do you do anime too? Or,
I've been doing a handful of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
And how do you like the difference between Prelay and dubbing?
Well, I feel like I've been doing dubbing for a while. Because I started working on a show called Poppycat about 10 years ago.
Mhm.
It was dubbed from England, so it's still a preschool show.
Okay.
Um,
Wait, dubbed from England.
Yeah. British voices to American voices.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That,
it aired
I've
on
never
Nick
heard
Jr.
of them doing that.
Yeah, sometimes with little kids, I think it's in like Peppa the Pig is obviously not dubbed. But
and like Bluey.
Yeah, but they wanted
so
this
cool.
to have American voices, so I got to work on that. And so I was used to the timing and the dubbing, and even like Tom and Jerry show.
Mhm.
It's a board-driven show, so they start with the storyboards, and then they go to the animatic, and then we come in. So we already have timings that we have to hit. So I guess I was like a little more used to it, and then I worked in a show called Yokai Watch that went on for a while, and that was, but I hadn't really delved into anime as much as recently when I was like,
there's just so much more of it now, which, I'm so happy it's like gaining popularity. And it's interesting because like, to dub something from English, like you already have the timing, it's there.
Yeah.
But to go from Japanese, like it's just so it's so tricky because like the lip flaps are off. You got to figure out like the technical technical aspect of it, and it's
like doing karaoke. You have the line, and then you're watching it. So sometimes the line is not aligned, so you have to look over here and then look over there, and you're like, so it's like very technical.
I know, and
it holds a lot of things in your head.
And like you would know, like I'm so used to just like playing and repeat and going off strictly off the timing. Like I'm not used to going off of the actual lip flap. So it's like a big change.
Yeah, you gotta like, you know. But thank God we, always have directors with us to guide us and be like, you know what? That's 2 more lip flaps. We're gonna cut this word. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's gonna work better. Yay. Well, I actually know you have to get to a dubbing gig after this show.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that we get you out of here on time.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes. Is there anywhere that our fans can find you online?
I'm on Instagram at Jessica DiCicco. And are you on TikTok? Do you do TikTok?
Yeah.
I need to talk to you about this.
It's fun.
I need to know how to do this because
it's fun.
But I'm on Instagram. That's my main thing.
Awesome.
Because I'm a mom of 2, and it's hard to manage.
Yes, 100%.
all these things. So
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming,
Thanks
Jessica.
so
We
much for
appreciate
having
it so
me.
much. Guys,
Yeah.
if you stick around till the entire end of the episode, I hope that you are subscribing. Please share this with anybody that you think might be interested, and we'll see you next week. Bye.